George Eliot's Adam Bede was first published in 1859. It is a story about love, betrayal, and redemption set in the rural English countryside at the close of the 18th century. Adam Bede is the main character of the novel. He is a good and moral carpenter. Adam is Seth's brother and Lisbeth's son. He is a close friend of the captain who makes him the steward of his estate. Adam is in love with Hetty Sorrel. Seth Bede is Adam's younger brother. He is also a carpenter, but unlike Adam, he is a Methodist. Seth is very patient with their mother and is in love with Dina Morris. Lisbeth is married to Theas Bede and is the mother of Adam and Seth. She often worries, especially about her oldest son. Lisbeth is afraid that if her sons get married, she will become unnecessary in the household. Theas is Adam and Seth's father. He was once a good father and taught his sons carpentry. However, he became an alcoholic towards the end of his life and dies by drowning in a stream early in the novel. Jip is Adam Bede's loyal dog. Mrs. Poyser is a very good dairy farmer. Adam Bede follows four main characters in the rural village of Hayslope in 1799. The story opens with Adam and Seth Bede, two brothers who work as carpenters. Seth, the younger brother, is teased by the other men in the carpentry shop for Methodist and for being in love with Dina Morris, a Methodist preacher. That night, Dina preaches in Hayslope and captivates even the skeptics. Seth walks her home and proposes her for the second time, but Dina declines, saying marriage would interfere with her preaching. Adam returns home to his mother Lisbeth, who is worried because his father Theas has not come home yet. Theas had promised to make a coffin for the next day, but has become a drunk in recent years. Angry at his father, Adam stays up all night to finish the coffin himself. He hears a strange knocking at the door, but no one is there. Meanwhile, Captain Arthur Donnythorne visits his mentor, the vicar, and tells him about Dina's preaching. They go together to Poyser farm to meet Dina. At the farm, Mrs. Poyser runs an excellent dairy. Her nieces Dina and Hetty Sorrel live with her. Arthur, whose grandfather is the Poyser's landlord, visits Mrs. Poyser's dairy, while Dina impresses the vicar with her reasons for preaching. In the dairy, Arthur flirts with Hetty and learns that she walks alone to his estate to learn lace making from his housekeeper. The next morning, Adam goes to the village pub to find his father, but finds him drowned in a stream. The news of Theas's death spreads quickly, and Dina visits Lisbeth to comfort her. Lisbeth, who usually dislikes Methodists and fears young women taking her place in her sons' lives, takes to Dina and allows her to stay overnight to help. Arthur intercepts Hetty in the woods on her way to his estate. He flirts with her and kisses her, but later decides it's wrong to lead her on and resolves not to see her again. That night, Hetty dreams of marrying Arthur and becoming a gentlewoman. Dina knocks on her door, startling her, and offers help if she ever needs it. Theas's funeral is well attended. Afterward, Adam visits the Poysers to continue courting Hetty. Her uncle and aunt approve of Adam, but he is unsure if Hetty loves him. Frustrated, Adam attends night school to improve his carpentry skills. Bartle Macy, the schoolmaster, advises him to stay a bachelor. Arthur and Hetty's secret affair continues, with Arthur giving her earrings and a locket. At Arthur's 21st birthday celebration, he appoints Adam as steward of his estate's forest, making Adam financially stable enough to propose to Hetty. A few days later, Adam sees Arthur and Hetty kissing in the woods. He confronts Arthur and they fight, with Adam making Arthur promise to write Hetty a letter ending the affair. Adam delivers the letter, which devastates Hetty but tells her to seek Arthur's help if in real trouble. Hetty decides to marry Adam as her best option. They get and Adam thinks Hetty has learned from her mistakes. As the wedding approaches, Hetty grows increasingly anxious. Her uncle's suggestion to fetch Dina from Snowdon gives her an excuse to run away. She takes all her money and travels to Windsor, where Arthur's troops are stationed. Finding he has left for Ireland, Hetty faints. Remembering Dina's offer to help, Hetty sets off to find her instead of committing suicide. Hetty's family grows worried when she doesn't return, and Adam searches for her. He traces her to Stonyton but returns to Hayslow to find she has been arrested for the murder of her baby. Adam initially believes in Hetty's innocence but changes his mind at her trial when presented with irrefutable evidence. Witnesses include a woman in whose house Hetty delivered the baby and a man who saw her near the spot where she partially buried it. Hetty is sentenced to execution. Dina visits her in prison, persuades her to confess and provides spiritual comfort. Adam sends for Arthur, who returns to Hayslope upon learning of his grandfather's death and Hetty's situation. Arthur rushes to secure a pardon for Hetty, which arrives just in time to commute her sentence to exile instead of death. Adam and Arthur reconcile, and Arthur decides to join the military. Years later, Adam visits the Poissers as they try to persuade Dina to delay her preaching circuit. Dina insists she must go to avoid personal temptations. When Adam supports her decision, she begins to cry. Adam brings her to his ailing mother, who wishes to see Dina again. Lisbeth and Seth notice that Dina blushes when Adam talks to her, realizing she loves him. Lisbeth informs Adam, who after seeking Seth's permission proposes to Dina. She initially refuses, prioritizing her religious duties and leaves her for Leeds to preach. After a few days, Adam follows Dina to Leeds, meets her on a hill. She admits she has been listening to her heart and God's guidance, realizing she should marry him. They marry, and the epilogue depicts them living happily with their family, including two. Let's discuss the themes of the novel. Honor is an ancient theme with special resonance in medieval times, which is fitting for a novel set in a town with an almost feudal landlord. There are two types of honor in this novel, that of females and that of males. Female honor is fairly passive and relies entirely on chastity. If women lose this chastity, they are helpless to regain their honor. Male honor is more complicated and active. Honor is tied up in their profession, land, and overall identity. When Adam runs away as a young boy because of family unhappiness, he returns to maintain the family's honor by keeping it economically stable. He knows that the only way to provoke Arthur to fight is by insulting his honor, so instead of reproaching him, he calls him a coward. The novel includes several examples of true love based on mutual attraction. One positive example is the relationship between Adam and Dina at the end of the novel. However, it takes others around them to help them realize their feelings, showing that mutual love must also be recognized and supported by both families. Society matters for love, as the complicating factor is always socio-economic class. Time period of the novel, marriage was often more of a contract rather than a romantic affair. This problem affects both men and women. Adam Bede is expected to marry Mary Burge because it would be a good business proposition, allowing him to become partners with her father, his boss. There are also class barriers to a love affair between Arthur and Hetty. Arthur cannot easily marry someone far below his social class, and Hetty's attraction to Arthur is partly due to his wealth. When she dreams of their future, she imagines the luxuries he could provide rather than their life together. There is also an impediment to Adam's courtship of Hetty, even though they seem to be of the same social class. Before his promotion to steward of the forest, some townspeople say Adam is reaching too high in trying to court the niece of a large dairy farmer. Nature is a constant presence in all of Eliot's. Unlike many romantic novelists, she does not make the weather correspond directly with her characters' moods. Instead, she comments on the injustice that the weather always seems to be at its most beautiful when humans are going through hardships. This disconnection of natural life from human life is of Eliot's literary realism. She has her characters mark their memories and experiences in the context of their actual environment. Adam marks his movement from happiness to adulthood by the beech tree he contemplated before seeing Hetty and Arthur kiss under it. Hetty marks her homeward journey not to return to the family farm, but to regain familiar scenery. Dina and Adam always refer to their agreement to marry as the meeting on the hill. Eliot wrote Adam Bede as the Industrial Revolution began changing life in Britain. More inventions meant farmers moved away from small towns to bigger cities. The village Eliot portrays resists this new lifestyle, but the presence of industry is indicated by the mill where Dina works. Dina is drawn to industrial towns like Leeds, which was at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution, because of the great mystery there. Eliot, like many poets and authors, laments the onset of industry for alienating people from nature. She personifies the spirit of leisure in contrast to industry, describing him as portly old gentleman with excellent digestion. As a novel centered on mother's infanticide, Adam Bede is preoccupied with motherhood. The strongest mother figure is Lisbeth Bede, who loves her son Adam almost too much. She constantly worries about him, which irritates and shames him. Lisbeth's relationship with Seth is easier because she loves him a little less and nags him less. Hetty and Dina lack mothers, affecting them profoundly. Dina grows into a mother figure, caring for others before herself. Seth describes a boy climbing into her lap during her preaching. Hetty, without strong guidance, grows up vain and petty. When she has a child under tough circumstances, she kills it by burying it. Despite this, she has some motherly feelings, noting she couldn't bear to look at its little hands or little face before burying it. She imagines hearing it crying, which is why she returns to the burial spot and is apprehended as a criminal.